Hello, welcome to Studio by Shane. So, what is Studio by Shane, I hear you ask? I don't know. At the moment, I'm just deciding to document my life as a designer and see if there are any shareable gems really that I come across during my day-to-day life as a designer. I've been doing this for quite a while now. How long have I been a designer? I've probably been a designer for over 15 years, maybe even a little bit more than that. Yeah, I can't remember, to be honest. I'm getting old, so my memory is not as good as it used to be. But yeah, it's been a long career. I've done several bits and bobs. I started off as a product designer. So if there are any product designers out there, the old school product designers, not this new school, what do they call it? It's UX design, experience. I can't remember what it stands for, but yeah, product designers now have been taken over by UX designers. I don't know when that happened or why that happened, but that's a thing. But yeah, I'm the old school product design student. I studied product design at university here in England, which I guess probably globally is probably known as industrial design now. But yeah, back when I was younger, it was called product design, and actually my course was product design futures, so it was a little bit more about predicting the future and coming up with ideas that kind of help push the world in a better place, and it's all about sustainability and things like that. So yeah, anyway, I digress. But yeah, so this series is just really just me talking about what it's like to be a designer in London, I suppose you could say, in London, England. And yeah, I'm hoping that throughout these kind of diaries, if you will, there are some gems that people could take away and use and hopefully help them with whatever they're working on, or give them just a different perspective to kind of, I guess, look at as inspiration, I suppose. I'm gonna touch on a few different projects that I've been working on. One recently I'm working on with a couple of friends from school. It's called, we've named it BitePoint. So the company that we're trying to create is called BitePoint. Then the product that sits within that company is called AeroKit. So BitePoint and AeroKit, hopefully it all sounds like car parts to you when you hear those names. So essentially, I'll give you a bit of a backstory actually. Let me go back to the beginning. So as I keep kind of mentioning, I'm getting older now. As you can see, I've got a few grays in my beard. So I'm not as young as I used to be. But yeah, when I was younger, I used to play computer games like I guess a lot of younger guys do nowadays still. Well, as you get older, you get more responsibilities and you start to think, have I got time to play computer games, etc., etc. And yeah, I guess now I've got to a certain age, I'm almost going through a bit of a midlife crisis and going back to computer games. But instead of going back to like the classic, Mario, Sonic, all that sort of stuff, decided to kind of merge the realism with the kind of nostalgia of computer games and decided to get into sim rigs. So I've got this sim rig over here. And yeah, essentially that was kind of the starting point of this project that I'm working on with my friends, as I said. So yeah, just again to kind of tell a bit of a story about how it all started. Essentially, I bought this rig on eBay. It was going for quite cheap actually. So it's probably half the price of what it was brand new. So I thought, it's worth a try. It's worth because I didn't know if I would like sim racing or, that sort of thing. So I thought I'd just, try secondhand first to see if I liked it. And lucky enough, this was, yeah, really, really good. It's a tubular rig, which is quite, I think people see this as like an entry-level kind of cockpit. These things are called sim racing cockpits, I think is the official term for them. So yeah, this was quite an entry-level one, but it was good for me. I think it worked really well, the price was right. And then, yeah, so I bought the steering wheel first. I saw a deal that I saw, I think it was like 20% off. So yeah, I thought I'd just grab this because this is quite, again, another entry-level direct drive steering wheel by Trustmaster. I think it's the T598. But for the price, it's really, really good. I recommend it. If you haven't tried sim racing, I would definitely say this is a good start, especially if you're on a console, because this is compatible with console. Not all of them are compatible with console, so that's something to just bear in mind. But yeah, this comes with obviously the steering wheel and the pedals as well. And yeah, as I say, I really, really enjoy using it. And as you see, I've just got a PlayStation 5 hooked up to just the standard widescreen TV as well. So yeah, it's very much a adult computer game, if that makes sense. Probably doesn't make sense, but it makes sense in my head. Because yeah, the whole justification of this was, right, I can't afford a Lamborghini. I can't afford do you know what I mean? I can't afford all these kind of really nice, expensive, you know, performance cars. What's the next best thing? So I just thought, let me just get this and try and simulate that feeling of being in a really fast car and driving really fast around different tracks. So yeah, that was the kind of starting point with this product that I'm thinking of. So when I bought this rig, so this is a tubular rig. You get different types of rigs. Again, this is entry level. There is a type of sim rig called a aluminium profile, and that essentially is just way more robust compared to something like this. But what it does mean is you lose on the aesthetics of it, because it's such a kind of, I guess, a bit more of a chunkier profile, the aluminium profile rig. It allows for stronger wheelbases, stronger pedals, so then there is literally no flex. So when you've got this kind of fighting against you when you're turning a corner, this wheel that I've got is quite low powered, so it's not that big a deal with a rig like this. But when you get to like the kind of professional grade, I would say, or the pro grade wheels, they're probably 2 to 3 times more stronger than what I've got here. So if I was to put something like that on one of these types of rigs, it would wobble and shake, and yeah, it would just be a really uncomfortable experience. So with that said, the aluminium rig essentially is the way that most people go after buying something like this. But what I did notice when I did buy this, it came with this panel that comes off here. Like, so this is just, there's no real function to it. It's literally just a vanity panel. And essentially that's what got me thinking, because naturally when I kind of had this rig, it was really good. I still rate it as a rig to start off with for sure. But then I kind of quickly thought, you know what, I want to get a proper rig now. And when I say proper rig, I just mean something that can handle a stronger wheel, for example. So that's when, you know, I started thinking, oh yeah, I would like an aluminium rig. But then thinking back, I was like, actually, they don't look as good as this. This looks pretty cool in my eye. It kind of mimics what a car would look like, or at least like a go-kart. It's got that vibe anyway. And I think that's a lot to do with kind of where they've put the panels. So they've got the panel on the side here, and then you've got a panel on the bottom here. And I think that's had a lot to do with, yeah, the overall look and feel of it. And obviously you've got the angled front, which again, you don't get with this aluminium profile. It's very quite kind of upright and flat, and it's not got that much character to it, or curvature, and it doesn't really resemble like a real life car. So that was where it kind of birthed the idea of BitePoint and then the Aero Kit. So the BitePoint Aero Kit is all about kind of bridging the gap between a entry-level tubular rig that is more about the aesthetics, and then you've got the aluminium rig that is more about the performance and the rigidity of the unit. So yeah, that's where it kind of led me. Essentially, I just started to look at ways that we can get paneling similar to this, but on to an aluminium rig. And I guess the motivation to that was I'm eventually going to buy an aluminium rig. This is kind of my entry into the sim racing, but eventually I want to get a aluminium rig, but I just don't like the fact that it looks like it just doesn't look the part, and it's a bit of it sticks out a bit like a sore thumb. So yeah, so then the Aero Kit was birthed essentially in my mind. I decided to kind of do a couple of sketches, do a couple of renders, modeling on 3D CAD and stuff, and yeah, I guess come up with an idea that I think would elevate the look and feel of an aluminium profile. And I guess, yeah, just to give a bit of context to where we're at the moment with it, and give you an idea of what the product actually looks like. So essentially, with an aluminium profile, you've got an upright, similar to what I've got over there. So yeah, essentially what this panel does is hide the upright. So you have the upright here, essentially. So it's pretty much the same as what I've got here, but it looks quite a little bit different. I might put a picture up in post if I remember. But yeah, so this is the side panel essentially. And then we have another panel for the back, like that goes here. So yeah, the idea is then these panels could then be colored and essentially look, or made to look like a car body kit. And that is, yeah, so that's kind of where we're at with this project at the moment. There are a few bits and bobs that I still need to consider and design, but I thought, yeah, I'll just use this platform to document all of my findings and how I developed the idea a little bit further. As I said, this has already gone through a bit of development. I've already kind of looked at the kind of basics of it, the overall concept, but I do want to develop it further and give it a little bit more thought to, how the angles of the curves, for example, and things like that. And yeah, try to kind of get as much out of it as possible in terms of the little details. I want to really kind of work through the little details of this and make sure it is as good as it can be. But yeah, hopefully that wasn't too big an intro. And as I say, I'm hoping I haven't rambled on too much, as this is quite new to me. So I'm kind of treating it as a diary at the moment, but I'm hoping to kind of make it a little bit more entertaining to watch over time. I think I'll become a little bit more smoother at articulating my ideas and my thoughts. So yeah, stick with me. I'm hoping to do this quite often. We'll see how, yeah, we'll see. Obviously life's quite busy, so we'll see how often I get to actually record these, but I'm hoping to do quite a few a week, of just like a quick catch up of what I'm thinking. And if I've got any other ideas, things like that, really. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Peace.